If you really, really want it, yeah, all you gotta do is get up on DJ Hears Out. You know what I'm talking about. You know what's going on. And DJ Hears Out. All I want is for you. You to comment down below, will you? For you I'll make a sacrifice. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So shout out to those who are celebrating holidays and going to holiday spirits and being with your families and friends. I'm all here for it. I am here to talk about, that time after you graduate from high school, you're going into college looking for colleges. And I'm just going to discuss some things that I wish I would have known before I had actually got into looking for colleges or choosing my college. And this has come from a woman who is definitely out of her early 20s every year. So I feel like I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. And I wish somebody would have told me this, but actually, when I was young, my parents always said, I'm not going to help you with that. You have to figure that out. And it wasn't something that I was really taught by them. And then in school, you hear, go to college, this and that. So, of course, you want to go. And, of course, you are in this drone world. And, of course, it is a great experience. Before you go, I definitely would check out the organization that the program has, because some of them are dealing with your profession that you're going to, whether it's a business organization, nursing program organization, that where you meet people who are like you, who have that same organization, and y'all can be friends, have study groups or whatever. They also have organizations that deal with race, especially if the school is not a mix of races. Sometimes they'll have like an organization for a particular culture or whatever. So look for that. And also, there's fraternities and sororities. Some of them will be on campus, some of them will be off of campus. So if you're interested in a sorority, you need to know what's available in your area or at your campus so you won't be disappointed. Okay, you also need to find out, what your scholarships and everything cover, because even with full tuition scholarships, sometimes room and board or not included in that price or whatever. And definitely know the cost, because college can be expensive. Definitely start applying for grants and scholarships. You got to fill out the FAFSA, which approve you for federal funding to be able to get some of these things like loans or grants from the government or whatever. But definitely apply for scholarships way before you actually are going to enroll, because it takes you a while to get accepted for a scholarship or accepted for a grant or whatever. So do your research. Also know about the college life. Do they have a movie theater at the campus? Do they have, a gym? Like, just know what things that school offers and see if that's something that will make you feel at home. Okay? So your college is definitely an experience. But I wish I would have known more now of what I knew now. Okay. My deal is, I would say don't even worry about going to college. Merry Christmas. Okay? Happy New Year. I wouldn't. Okay, now there's some professions that you have to go to college for, but there's so many others that you don't need to go to college for. And a lot of times when people pick their degree, they don't end up wanting to work with the degree they have, or they can't find work with the degree that they have, or the degree that they get into is not what they wanted. So sometimes you want to rush into something like college to free with your family, but at the same time, you don't have to do college to get out of your mom's house or whatever. You can still go to school, get a good job, and not have to spend so much money and not have to waste so much time. Because the first year in college for me, it was a lot of prerequisites, like stuff. Now, true enough, they do have programs where you can cap out of them and test out of them, which I really didn't even know about. But until it's too late. But you are basically taking all the courses you took in high school again to make sure that you can do your math, your reading, and so forth and so on. That first year is really just a waste of time. So that's why the first 2 years of community college are not a bad idea. And speaking of community colleges have a lot of boot camp programs that you can do, certificate programs that you can do. That's in the medical, health, different arenas that you can be done in less than 6 months. get you a job that's paying 30, 40, 50K out, and you just got graduated high school. So that would give you plenty of time to do that job for these 3 or 4 years instead of just spending that at a college feeling like you made up your mind. Because as a young adult, you feel like you know it all, but in reality, you don't know that much. So that's why my preference for what I chose at that time, and I did get a bachelor's degree, it has changed a little bit, especially when I got to actually get in the field. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, even though most of my life that's what my dream job was. I like it. It's just a few things I would change, and they need to change. And I feel like until they change it, I don't feel comfortable putting myself in that situation because of safety reasons. So you just gotta just think about all things, especially right now with a lot of diseases and stuff going on and going around. It's crazy. So with that, you have the certificates, you have the boot camp that actually will give you a good paying job, to where, like, let's say you want to do a IT job. Sometimes you can go through a boot camp, learn how to code, learn how to make websites, learn how to do different things, or learn how to do software testing or different things, and you can get a job right when you graduate. There's some schools that will let you go to school for less than 6 months, and as soon as you're done, some of them even let you pay when you're done. You can get a job as soon as you get out, and they're not as expensive as going to school for 4 years, because sometimes, especially what I went to, tuition was $18,000 a year, okay? And that stuff adds up, okay? So a lot of people, when they finish, are in debt, okay? And keep in mind, there are grants and scholarships that will help you pay for such things, so it's best, to try to go the cheapest route. That way you have less credit issues later. And I wish I would have bought a house. That's just another plug. I wish I would have bought one when I just started my credit, like in my 20s, because credit cards can be tricky, especially if you don't pay them on time. So make sure you have a job to pay on them. Otherwise, your credit can get shot early, and then you won't be really approved for houses like that. But I say a house, even if you rent it out, it's just a good commodity, because houses tend to go up and up. Even if you got to get a house together with other people and then y'all split it later on down the line, I just wish I would have done that, because apartments are cool, but they do go up like every year, which is crazy to me. But anyway, mortgage payments usually just a static as far as I know, but I could be wrong. I don't have a mortgage. So that's why I recommend it. The next thing I would say is they have other programs you can go to as well. Like I said, if you want to do a course online, they have several programs that you can do online. Like, I think medical coding and billing is a degree plan that you can do for a couple months. They send you the materials, you do it online, and you're done, okay? And it's, I think, under $2,000, so they have several programs, and even those boot camp programs and stuff like that, and certificate programs that they have at the community college and different places are very affordable, okay? I would recommend Glassdoor.com if you don't know what profession you want to go into, because if you look up a profession, they'll tell you what kind of qualifications you need, the starting salary that you'll get paid, and so forth. And also, with that being said, check their local job place that lists all the jobs, like Indeed.com, Monster.com. Look up a certain job and it tell you how available that job is, and how much they get paid and what you need to get that particular job, and see if there's something you would do, because some jobs only need a high school degree, and some of them will be surprising to you, like, oh, you get paid $30 an hour but you only need a high school degree. Yeah, because some people at McDonald's don't even get paid that. So, not saying there's nothing wrong with that, because it's definitely a good starter position or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, you'll be surprised at some degrees that are available, that especially now, because a lot of stuff is online, you only need a high school degree, and you can get paid the same amount if you would going to the job for the 4 years that you were going to be going to, okay? The next thing you will have is the military. The military, they have different branches of the military. Go to the one that suits you, but they do have a GI Bill, so when you graduate, you can get funding from the government. They also have good benefits for people who are in the military and their spouses and their kids, to also help them with schooling as well. So yeah, it's an investment to go into, and you have to go through certain things, but you really set up for the long run. Even if you retire, they pay pretty good benefits after you retired or whatever as well. Speaking of the military, you got to take a test or whatever to figure out what job you're going to be doing while you're in the military. So let's say you get into the nuclear program or the medical field, those skills are going to be used when you get out of the military. So it's very beneficial in training wise to see when you graduate if you would like to do anything different. You will have that time to make up that. You'll get to make that decision up, because actually, like I said, I feel like when you get into a profession and do it for at least 5 years or so, or even sometimes 1 year actually in that profession, you find out if there's something you actually want to do. So that way, when you get out of military school, they also give you the GI Bill that will pay for you to go back to school or do any of those certificate programs or whatever you want to do. So that is a good thing, because I feel like I said, a lot of people don't want to do what they went to school for, or they're not doing it, okay? So that gives you time to make up your mind instead of just rushing into something. Then you have like the welding programs, which is a couple months. That's something you can start off with. It's, you don't even go but like a couple months. You also have like the police academy. What I heard before was that they help you do the training, and everything. You got to do a physical fitness test and everything. If you go to your local police station to tell you what all you need and the qualifications to get in the program, and they usually start you off at least 50,000 a year. And that program is only like a 2 or 3 months or whatever. Then they have the firefighter program that's about the same situation. So yeah, like you really can get paid. You also have real estate school, where it's a couple months you go to, and I think you're paying like under $3,000 to get certified and licensed for that, to do real estate and get paid commissions. Or anytime the sales position, like at a car dealership or something, commission means you get paid every time you make a sale. Okay. Then you have insurance. You get your insurance license less than 3 months. It's under $1,000 to get that done, and you get certified in your state and other states that you want to be certified in to sell insurance. And insurance is a pretty profitable business as well. Okay, and then you have truck driving school. A lot of times, there's truck driving schools who will pay you to train you. They'll pay for your accommodations, and then when you're on the road, you'll get paid while you're training. And then you're making 50 and 60, 70,000 your first year once you get that done. And some, teachers and other professions don't even make 70,000 a year. They first starting off. So I said that to say this: don't think that you have to go to school to get a good job, because when I was in high school, I thought that if I did not go to college, that I wouldn't be able to get a good job. But there's so much cheaper options out there that I wish I would have known about, because I could have been saved my money, not be having, to constantly pay back the money that I had to pay back. And I had a full tuition scholarship, so I can imagine somebody who didn't have a full tuition scholarship, because it can get pricey. But I had to do it all on my own, so I did take out additional loans and stuff, because like I said, you got to pay that back. So good luck to you on picking where you want to go, or if you want to go at all. But I would advise you to wait 4 years before making a final decision and try the profession, working in the profession you're thinking about getting into, at least as an intern. Apprenticeship programs are offered that pay as well, before you make a decision. Good luck.
Why you gonna do me like that? DK his out, we out, we out. DK his out, we out, we out. Why you gonna do me like that? Gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. When the party's they lit, it's hard to leave, gotta leave to his out. Gotta leave to his out. Stay up, stay lit. You a vibe right now. You a vibe right now. Don't have to go home, but you gotta get the hit going out the door. Gotta get the home hit going out the door. Until next time I see you, let's go.